You know, one thing I've been noticing is I think it's Technology Ed or something like that. He's really shown me a lot as far as this iPet Goat 2. You see this here? This is supposed to be this coming solar eclipse. See the circle? The solar eclipse followed by the buck moon. Here's the stag moon over here, the buck. So the stag or the buck is on the wall, and he really does a great job of pointing out how the buck or the stag is in all these movies, all these dark movies, and right before the calamity. And it's called a buck moon. A rabbit is called a buck. And of course, the stag, the buck full moon follows the solar eclipse. And that's when she rolls the apple. Notice the light's on her, the light is on the buck. Full moon, which is this July 4th, and the apple starts rolling and rolling and rolls over to Obama's foot. And Obama's got sweat coming out of his forehead. Does that mean Obama could possibly be taken out first? It'd be a clone. And then Trump. Remember, that's Trump right there, sitting there with his hand in the Trump position. Well, you see this buck moon? When you look at Donnie Darko, which stands for Donald Darkness, see right there? See the glow of the moon? And see, Trump was born in between the bull's horns, the sun, excuse me, and the lunar eclipse. The sun, when it was creating the lunar eclipse, was taking place in between the two horns. We show that in the previous videos of Trump the Antichrist. But and if I were to bring that up for you, let's just go to my own videos and do it. That way I can't get flagged too badly. Out of time. That's the license tag that comes off when you go 88 miles per hour. And of course, Trump is 88. Well, there's the Don Trump is 666 because the family name was Trump before it was changed to Trump to fulfill the other prophecy of coming in his own name as a little horn of Daniel 7. A horn is a trump and a trump is a horn. It'd be like calling him the little trump of Daniel 7 or Donald Horn. Horn and Trump are synonymous. So he has come in his own name. So there's no doubt he's the Antichrist. He's here in his own name. And Trump Tower has 5 multiple addresses, 721 through 725. Trump Tower has 5 multiple addresses, 721 through 725. And go to Daniel 7. 721 through 725. And I behold the same horn made war with the saints. This is specific to the Antichrist, and shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. So that all fits, both talking about making war with the saints, wearing out the saints. 721 through 725 specific. When you get to 720, that's just talking about him now, a mouth speaking great things. More stout, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Yes. A mouth that speak great things, like lock her up, or we're going to bomb the shit out of them, or talking about the NFL players that were kneeling, those sons of bitches, when he said that in Huntsville, Alabama, to create division. 711, the great words that the horn spake. It always talks about a mouth speaking great things. And 7-8, a mouth speaking great things. He never says anything halfway. And so, oh, and I told you I was going to show you the way he sits. By the way, in iPad Goat 2, I am Q. QAnon, I am Q. Nothing more than a ghost in the machine. That also did the animation of this video, iPad Goat 2. Told you many times, Donald Trump is Batman, of course. That was no accident. Putin walking by. But Donald Trump with the hand signal, he's always sat like, oh, this is what I was going to show you from this is actually what I was getting at. Donald Trump, when he was born, the sun sat in between those two horns. I don't think that I ever took a snapshot of that, and I should have. But Trump always sits with the divine feminine. This is light against dark. He's the light. The Obama-Hillary world is the darkness. That is the black and white checkered flooring. Even getting water dumped on him, he still sits with the upside down, the feminine, the divine feminine, because he's the light. The light is the feminine. The darkness is the masculine. I mean, the leader of India sitting with Trump, paying homage to Trump by throwing out the Trump hand signal. This is your black and white checkered board flooring, or your male, female, or your dark and your light. And Trump is the light. That's why he's playing the role of the good guy, the new awakening, the light. So, by the way, in The Dark Knight Rises, when Bruce Wayne is removed in the movie, or when Donald Trump is removed, you see America will fall. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bruce Wayne in Gematria is rider on the white horse. But I wanted to find well, I guess I'm not going to find it. But let's just go ahead and show you Trump Tower with the 6 by 6 by 6 bush. There's an architectural rendering of it. I was going to show you the bushes itself, though. It's 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's 6 columns down there, too, of course. It is specific. It's a tower specific to, there it is right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the upside down pyramid. He is the light. He is the great awakening. He's what QAnon is selling everybody. And again, it's the divine feminine. In the movie Donnie Darko, there is a medicine bottle, and in a medicine cabinet it says Donald Dark 88. And of course, Trump is 88 in Gematria. There's the other divine feminine pose right there. The return of the divine feminine. I need to watch that video, all of that video. So in the movie Donnie Darko, 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, and 12 seconds. That's the day the world will end. Well, you add 28 and 6 and 42 and 12, you get 88. You get Trump. The world ends at Trump. He's just now received his crown, his corona. None of these pictures in time, none of this is by accident. None of this is by accident. And so that's what really bothers me about what's coming, because it sure seems to be pointing to this. Now, I know that particular scene is when he was born, I think. And I told you I was going to show you all that. So there it is. When Trump was born, the sun sat in between. That's what Mike goes to the machine. When Trump was born, when you look at it on a stellarium or something to that effect, where you can see the
That's
Taurus,
astronomy in the sky.
He was born in
The
Gemini.
sun sat in between, outside of Taurus, right in between the horns of Taurus. It was already in Gemini. The sun was in Gemini. Ways been the plan.
That's a little bit better view of it. So the Donnie Darko with that rabbit with that sun up above it, which looks like it's in an eclipse. But see, Trump was born under a lunar eclipse. This looks like a solar eclipse followed by the buck moon. Because a full moon after a solar eclipse is a big day in their evil world. And it's coming. And it's matching up with the iPet Goat 2. Because that's Trump right there with that hand signal. Folks, this was put out July 3rd. Ooh, golly, that's right when that full buck moon begins. Buck full moon in July.
Here is information from Farmer's Almanac.
It's the 5th. July 5th, buck moon, 12:44 a.m. So it's almost on the 4th of July. Right after midnight and 4th of July. Where? Where is that at? According to England? Or is that Eastern Standard Time? Or Eastern Daylight Time, I mean. Eastern Time. Okay. That means it's July 4th over in England. No. It's July 4th, still over in the Central Time Zone. I'm sorry. I get confused. Yeah, it'll be 11:44 p.m. Central Time. Be 9:44 Pacific. Wow. Significance of a full moon after a solar eclipse.
Here is some information for why lunar eclipse occurs on full moon day. According to space.com, for a lunar eclipse, the full moon must be, at most, 12.25 degrees of a node in order for it pass into the Earth's shadow.
Nothing. I didn't think there was. So that really bothers me. And I'll tell you something else. There's a lot of stuff in this. 60 years of Donald Trump predictive programming compilation. This one here is chock full of a lot of stuff. Of course, the Trump trackdown episode where he comes and talks about building a wall. And he says, you're asking me, how can I build you that wall? Then he's later shot at the end of the show. Then, of course, there's Back to the Future. 119 means Donald. Simply means Donald in Gematria. So there's Donald. Punch calculate Gematria. There's the 119. And in Back to the Future, there's the 119. So, and you go 88 miles per hour, that means Trump. And the license tag falls off and says out of time. Ooh, they show us that in the video, 119 in Jewish, okay. And the tag falls off, says out of time, and you go 88. That's them talking, joking around how he looks like Donald Trump. I'll put this in the comments. Of course, you get the you're fired, you're fired. This movie was back in the 80s, and Trump's show about being fired was Back to the Future. Writer admits bad guy Biff was based on Donald Trump. I've proven that to y'all many times. Of course, when Biff is president or Trump is president, there's anarchy in the streets. There's tanks in the streets. We know that's coming. There was a TV show specific about Trump.
This is Daniel Clamp.
Clamp.
You know,
Trump,
no visit
Clamp,
to New York is complete.
Clamp, Trump, Clamp. I just got through showing y'all President Business into Lego. Well, here's another one. Daniel Clamp is Donald Trump.
Without a tour of the world's most fully automated office building. My Clamp Premier Regency Trade Center and Retail Concourse, headquarters of Clamp Enterprises and home of CCN. Clamp.
And I just got through watching something. I'm going to pause and go find it. And here's more stuff about President Clamp.
Became a reality. I hope you enjoyed today's tour, and don't forget, pick up your copy of Mr. Clamp's best-selling book.
Just like Trump's had his best-selling books. So everything's always been about Donald Trump. People talk about how they hate him and Trump. They love him. They love Donald Trump. Everything in this world has been about Trump. When they walk up to interview him, 9/11, which is Apollyon, the beast out of the bottomless pit, and they immediately rush up the cameras in his face are 9 and then 11. Because the Twin Towers going down on 9/11 was for Trump. That was the two Trumps, the two twins. One's a clone, one's not. They will both disappear, and then one will come back, seemingly risen from the dead.
Mr. Clamp, is it true the building's been evacuated?
Sir, is the building
9,
on fire? No,
11.
no, that's a false alarm. We've just got some.
So, and of course, they were talking about the wall cartoon was all about Trump's wall. Predictive programming way in advance. remember what this is.
Calls in here has tripled. What the hell is going on?
Doc, let me explain. For the rest of the day, we're supposed to handle the department's communication.
What do you mean, handle?
They're shutting down the police bay. All calls will be coming through this switchboard.
And I'm gonna marry Donald Trump.
Simpsons Bart to the future. And of course, because after President Trump's presidency, she says they are broke. I'm not going to play that. I don't want to get too much of a copyright strike. And there's Donnie Darko, movie I was telling you about.
28 days.
It's a freaky movie.
6 hours. 42 minutes. 12 seconds. That is when the world
88 miles per hour.
will end.
Back to the future. There's Donald Dark, 88. 88 and Trump means Gematria. So it's basically saying Donald Trump.
I want to bring to the presidency.
Then I showed y'all the 9/11 the other day. Looking good, number one, looking good. Then Trump comes out. And the two sheep, of course, sheep, that's God's church, the true church are his sheep. It's 9/11 again.
What do you have in mind?
Something you were born to do.
Welcome to room 9.
So anyway, and I've shown y'all that. I wonder why they're showing that again.
Sir, is the building on fire? No, no,
9/11.
that's a false alarm. We've just got some problems.
It said Trump Tower. My friend Joey was telling me that from Trump Tower, he had a perfect view of the towers collapsing on 9/11. Of course, he was there in New York. Wow. Was that really in that movie, the jet sounds? Because, I mean, if it was, that's the Donald Trump interview about 9/11. I'll put this in the comments for you. I don't want to play too much. But the Trade Center's going down. Remember, there were 88 lights in the tribute to 9/11. It was 88 lights. And there were 8 sides to each tower. There were 4 obvious sides, but each corner actually was sided off, was flattened. So it was literally 8 sides. So definitely got a bad feeling about what's coming over this full buck moon. And let me pause this because there's something I wanted to show y'all from last night that I came across that I thought was quite eerie. Hang on. All right, by the way, Bruce Wayne, click it in Gematria. Rider on the white horse, which of course Bruce Wayne or Donald Trump is receiving his corona, his crown. Gematria is a thousand-year-old language of converting letters to numbers, and it's how we get the 666, when Jesus said it's the number of a man. Where is Rider on the white horse? Did I already pass it? All right, I wasn't really focusing. Rider on the white horse. Rider on the white horse. Bruce Wayne. And that's how you get Don Drumpf, which we already showed you. Don Drumpf, Mike Pence. Excuse me, Donald Trump, Mike Pence comes to 666. And then just Don Drumpf. The chances of all of that happening are just Don Drumpf. That was the Trump family name. Trump family name was Drumpf. Popped right up.
The first two are Donald Trump Jr. and Fred Trump Jr. I have 20 answers in total.
Notice how it spelled it correctly when I asked for it. There it is. Trump family Wikipedia. Drumpf. 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 Was Donald Trump's surname. Snopes even agrees with it. Rating, mostly true. Says it was Donald's ancestor's name, not actually his name. Well, of course, his name was just Trump to fulfill coming in his own name, like Jesus said, which I told you earlier. Trump is a horn and a horn is a trump. He's here in his own name. But the family name was Drumpf. So it was changed at his grandfather, but his grandfather didn't use the name Drumpf. So they didn't want it to be too obvious, did they? That's why it says, here is wisdom in Revelation 13:18. It is the number of a man. So Sympathy for the Devil played at Trump rallies. Only thing wilder than a Trump rally is the pre-show, Sympathy for the Devil. The Rolling Stones had their album titled Rolling Stones, Her Satanic Majesty's Request. No, Their Satanic Majesty's Request.
Here's a summary from Wikipedia.
Their Satanic Majesty's Request. Their Satanic Majesty's Request. I mean, these people are wicked, man. Wicked, wicked, wicked. RollingStone.com, Their Satanic Majesty's Request. And of course, they have the song Sympathy for the Devil, because Satan was just a good guy, freeing Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden. That's the story. And I noticed that when somebody had sent me this, my friend Carl from Middle England. There you go, Carl. What's up? Carl, Val, got to give Val a shout out. Carl and Val are on one thread. Val's always got a lot of good info. So does Carl. Vicky, got to give a shout out to Vicky. Vicky's always got the good stuff. She and I watch the same stuff. And there's Lori and Angie. Definitely great friends and coming out of the world and give me a lot of support and have given me a lot of support. And Greg, I don't know if you're watching, but it's nice to have you on board. And a lot of support on Facebook. And Marie and Angel. And Angel's got a lot of great info. She sure does. Who am I missing? Who am I leaving out? Oh, Dawn. And Dawn's doing great. She's battling cancer and doing great. But Carl had sent me this with Trump on it, and I noticed at the end, are they playing Sympathy for the Devil? Yeah, that's not it. What song are they playing? Ooh, just a shot away. It's just a kiss away. It's just a kiss away. Gimme Shelter. Okay. So they were playing Gimme Shelter, which is still the Rolling Stones. As soon as Letterman is done with them, and then they take you through this really like Lucifer Fallen Angel replica that's done. New York City's full of nothing but wickedness. I visited there with my friend Joe, and it was insanely crazy. Watch this. Right after he interviews Trump.
Feelings known and let somebody else do it.
They're playing the Stones in the shelter. See that?
For 12.
That eerily looks similar to Lucifer. I would tell you that it is. I've already shown you a Lucifer statue in Central Park. But I also showed in another video Vatican Holy Assembly. Reptilian Vatican building. There it is. See how it's like a snake? Like a snake, like a snake. Well, it looks like Lucifer, which they're telling you that's Jesus. But that looks like Lucifer coming out of the apocalypse, if you ask me, or the Antichrist. So that's what that reminded me of. That's Lucifer or the Antichrist. I'm no expert, but interesting. Very interesting. So there's a lot going on. Donnie Darko is Donald Darkness. And we're coming up on a very, you know what? This is Donald Trump part 12. Donald Trump is the Antichrist part 12. It's 12 is the number of the church, number of the apostles, number of the 12 tribes of Judah. So this might be it. We might be at the end of the rope, folks. This might be the end. And I mean, 2020 vision. It always was about their 2020 vision. This is the dawning of the, well, the dawning was the mid-60s, but this is the culmination of it right now where we're at. It's just beginning. And don't forget what happens in 2024. In 2017, when Trump took over, X. April 8th of 2024, X. Whoosh. Or whoosh, whoosh. By April of 2024, not good, not good, not good. America's going down in 2020. I think Trump is going down in 2020, or his clone. But the end of everything near Jesus's return should be around that time. Because I think the Antichrist abomination, 3.5 years. I think he just confirmed the covenant this past January with that Middle East peace treaty. 3.5 years later, after that would be what? In July of 2023, which would be what? I think it's July 20th, as a matter of fact, which would be Jesus returning by around then. I don't know. It's interesting. Anyway, I heard this was the Black Sun, because there's Donald there. I don't know. Anyway, let's call it a day. Let's call it quits on this. Thank y'all very much.